Gaslands, post-apocalyptic vehicular combat. Today we're going to do just a project update. I've been working on the ultimate arena for half-scale Gaslands, and we saw a video a few weeks, maybe about a month ago. I wanted to show you how much progress we've made and kind of show you what you can do to elevate your terrain game when it comes to Gaslands. I've decided on a name for this arena. We're going to call it the Hutchinson Drome. I think you know why. If you don't know why I'm naming this after Hutchinson, then you probably need to get yourself a copy. I'll give you a little clue. We'll call it the Hutchinson Memorial Stadium because it takes place in a far-flung future. Actually, I think this is an alternate Earth. I don't get much into the lore of this game, but I wanted to show you what you can do with a little bit of lumber. And I've already shown you how to make this. What I've done, but I've added some extra features to this battle board. And the first one I want to show you, I warned you that I was going to be using this Tabletop Scenery terrain. Now this is a modern day city accessories, and it comes with all these green highway signs, which are nice. Comes with a little, this is a little newsstand, and I went ahead and put one together, but it's 10 millimeter, and I don't really have a use for this, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. That's it, but we're not going to use it, because why would you have a newsstand in the middle of your death arena? So what I did is I took these gantries, if you will, and I repurposed them for my own purposes. The first thing to point out is the hand-painted checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, and finish line. I trimmed the traffic signals. Now those are on long arms, and I said, no, that's no good for me. And I used some of the extra pieces for the signage. I also had to trim down. You can see the feet here are a little bit pretty long. I didn't like that. They didn't fit so hot. So if I pull our finish line back to the middle of our figure 8 track, when it looks something like that, then it fits in there a lot better. Now for Gaslands and the rules, what you'll do is you'll say, hey, look, anytime you're on the gray, you get that reroll. If you're on the white and the red, that is the start of the area where you don't get the free reroll. Now, the nice thing about this setup is that you can leave everything off, and now you've got portions of the track. So you could use this as a battle arena. Any of the grassy areas, this area here, I would say the grass is soft, and it's hazardous terrain. So, whatever the effects of that are, I would argue that this is an area where you don't get the reroll. But if you wanted to do an actual death race, which most people do, then you can drop in your tires to direct traffic around the corners, swap these out for your regular figure 8 track. You've got a lot of different options. I think you may want to drop some tires down there in the event that you want to have some blocking terrain for shooty bits of your game. Otherwise, very versatile. It has a lot of effects. I also have a pretty good chunk of terrain that I picked up from Tabletop Scenery. Again, these are all 10 millimeter terrain pieces that are designed for the game. If I don't remember to put a link in the description, you can always just look it up yourself. These are designed for the game you may have heard of. It's called Drop Zone Commander. And then I also picked up these barrels, which maybe are exploding and maybe are not. You get a pack of 10 of those. I got these from Coruscant Miniatures. They're 15 millimeter scale, a little oversized, but if you need any kind of an objective or additional blocking terrain, it works great. Along with these 10 millimeter containers, these are actually, I think they're designed for like a shanty town. And then, of course, I did a little bit of sci-fi, IP on there just so that you guys can. Then there's a little aperture science on this one. And again, on the other side, kind of covered up by the tarp. And the existence of, there's pallets there. Really good details on these. Some of them have a little, it looks like almost like a vent. I think these are supposed to be for like a shanty towns, but whatever. Nice, easy peasy, little whatever logo we got on there. There was one more I thought you guys might enjoy. You sci-fi people. I guess it's just the Aperture and Zorg were the two that I used. Oh, and then this one. There you go. We all know where the Aquila comes from. Little two-headed eagle. And then it also comes with 4 of these. This all comes in one package for about $20, and then it comes with, however you want to do it, 4 or 16 of these Jersey barriers. I'll show you how well those scale with Micro Machines cars here in just a second. You can break these. You can just snap these apart if you want to have 16 little ones, but I've left them together just for ease of placement. and ease of use. One other thing I should show you. You see these little subway, dropping in the subway things? I didn't need subways on my table, and I had a couple of these gantries left over. I used 4 of them all together, and then just to make it easier for people to use, here you can see our checkpoint 2. And then if you flip it over, it's got a little 2 on the back side, so people on the other side of the table can remember which checkpoint is which. Likewise, with the finish line, I went ahead and put a nice little finish on the back side. And with checkpoint number 1, you've got checkpoint 1 and little 1s on the back. Isn't that great? A little freehand. We don't often get nice flat canvas to use, so when we do, I like to take advantage of it. I mean, painting on, this is not easy, man. Painting on corrugated steel like that, whew, that's not great, but you get the idea. So let's take a look at the scale here. Before we get to the scale, I wanted to show you the couple of extra gantries I had left over. I put them just to give a little bit more of a 3D space here, painted dark, so we've got some tunnels that lead further into the arena. I'm envisioning that we're not showing the rows and rows of stands that extend up off of this track. And then likewise, these subway entrances, I didn't have to do anything, man. They're the perfect size for little manway gates running in and out, so that if you do use figures on foot, that's the perfect size, and then you can use this as an entry point. I've got one here, and if we slide on over to the other side, I have another one over here. Now, the poster's on the side of the wall. Of course, we painted slime just to paint that in. Let me see if I can get us to focus in on this poster. In this case, this is Rutherford Logistics, and then I made up a couple of posters of my own. This one is for By and Large. It's an advertisement for their travel package. They've got a spaceship called the Axiom, I believe it is. But if you go to Gaslands.com, you can find lovely little posters. And then here's another one that I pulled from Gaslands.com for, what does it say? You deserve the best, from Rutherford Logistics. So that adds a little bit of the lore to the game over on the other side of the arena. I've got them on all sides. I'll just show you one more just for giggles. You can ignore the old man reading glasses, and then I've got, you probably recognize the advertisement for trying to get to Mars. It will take a moment. I've got the rest of these posters, like this guy over here. I've got those available on my blog. If you go to johnmollison.com, you can download and print those up as well. I've got the one on the other side is for, we've got a little travel poster over here for Arrakis, if you want to go see the desert planet. And then the poster that you see over here on the left is for, it's a recruiting drive. I want you for Warboy, Eternal, Shiny, and Chrome. Remember that movie? We both watched it. Now we're best friends. Here we drop down to a more vehicle eye view. You can see that these 40-foot containers are a little bit undersized. It's okay. They're undersized. I guess we'll just chalk it up to the alternate history, okay? They're more like 20-foot containers. They're half size. It's okay. They do everything they're supposed to. They provide blocking terrain. They provide obstacles, different ways for you to set up a battle arena where you've got meaningful choices. If we bring our tires up immediately adjacent to the vehicles, now you can see that they serve just right. These are just beads like you saw in the last video. One thing I will mention is that we're actually looking at 2 different kinds of micro machines here. This is a line known as Hollywood, or something. It's like Hollywood Rides or something. And those are very well proportioned. Of course, this is from that classic of the time travel genre, Back to the Future. And then there is a blister pack for some drivers that they're very angry. They're very quick, fast and furious. And those are more in scale. You can see the more cartoony structure of the straight up micro machines. Now, they're not based. I broke down and bought some 25 by 50s from Litco. And then here's another kind of more realistic car. And these are scaled for about 10 millimeter. They work. The other package that I picked up that I think is going to add a little bit of fun, there is a G.I. Joe pack. And look at that. I don't even know what that one's called. But tell me this isn't the perfect car. It's a Jeep, and it's got like a rocket launcher on it. That is absolutely perfect. And our buddy Mike is kind enough to give us here's another vehicle with a rocket pack, and he's got tank treads, right? We have rules for tank treads. I don't think, does this spin? Yeah, that rocket pack doesn't spin. We may just drop those on and leave them as is. In addition, we've got a lovely little hiss tank, which is going to work perfect. We may dull coat those just to take some of the shine off, but I think, man, you're done, man. That is done. The rest of these are going to need this search and rescue is going to need some weapons. I do have weapons on order. They're not going to be here till, I don't know, like the end of the month. You can find, if you search 10mm accessories, I think I found them through Gaslands.com. Mike does a good job telling you where to find those accessories. There's a shop on Etsy. When those weapons show up, I'll tell you where I ordered it from. They are scaled for 10mm. So we're going to be able to put some lovely looking rams on all of these. And then once we get our vehicles to go, we kind of did it backwards here in the House of Wargaming. We got our terrain looking nice and cherry before we moved on to the vehicles. There's one more suite of vehicles I want to show you. And that are the motorcycles. Look how well this motorcycle scales. This is an additional product from the Tabletop, no, who is it? These are, what line is this? I got it from the same website that I got these Tabletop Scenics from. It's a blister pack of weird kind of post-apocalyptic cycles and dune buggies like this guy here. Obviously, I haven't painted those up yet, but I wanted to show you that they work really well for scale. I used the same base. I just trimmed it down to about, what is it, like 15 to 20 millimeters across. And you can see, let's go ahead and get a better look at this guy. Let's see if we can get her to focus in on him. It's a rather large one. It's like a 2-seater, and this guy here in the back has got some weird dish gun. But, you know, they're perfect. There's a faction called something like the Resistance or the Rebels. Just poke around on their website. Go look. They got a lot of good stuff. They also have a line of, like, technicals, I guess you would call it. They're big, kind of beefy SUVs that are loaded down with weapons that would work great as is. Now, the downside is you only get, I want to say, is it 1, 2? Oh, look at this guy. Right there. There's a lovely look. He's got like a trike going. We may classify that as a buggy. But again, you've got a crew on this vehicle. Oh, no, this is a 1-seater, isn't it? Got that weird dish in front. So you get like, I want to say 12 of these guys. There's only 1, 2, 3. I think there's one more sculpt. I think it's 4. Is that it? Yeah, that's the last sculpt right there. And again, he's got one of those microwave guns. So you get 3 of each of these 4 sculpts. I didn't use them all. I hung on to, I think I got a total of 10 of them out altogether, just to give myself some variety. But again, the scale is great. They work perfect. You've now got, well, I've got, and if you go down this same route, you'll have all the motorcycles that you really need. I've got enough to do a full bike-on-bike action. Now, there's one last thing I want to show. Well, there's 2 things I want to show you, actually. Let me get out my half-size templates to show you how well it works with those. First things first, let's go with a bit of the negative. This also comes with that terrain pack. If you're okay with the MDF, which I don't know if you even mentioned that my gantries are MDF. And they all plug really good in there, right? I just gave it simple metallic paint. Now, I don't like these little tabs down here at the bottom. But if you don't have a problem with it, the flat pack for that terrain comes with 6 of these bad boys. And they work fine in a pinch. I'm just not a huge fan. I'm not going to use these. I've got enough terrain as is between the tires and the barrels and everything else. So I'm just going to throw those away. But I did want to put them together and show you how they look to help you decide whether or not this product is right for you. If it is, it's fairly cheap. I think it was $20, and that gets you all the gantries. It gets you 6 of these. It gets you, what else is in there? The Subway, you get like 5 of this. Well, here it all is right here. Again, you know, if you want 5, you can count it up yourself. And it actually comes with like 3 of these newsstands, and then all of these greenish signs as well. So nice purchase. Really glad I did that. And I think that's it. Okay, so the last thing we need to show you is, if you are one of the guys who has to game in a small space and you decide 10mm is right for you, I wanted to show you how well these, now this again comes from Litco. These are the half-size turn templates. And just to give you an idea how big they are relative to our motorcycles, they look great. If this is this is one of the cars size. You're gonna have a little bit of wiggle room right there for that. But otherwise, man, I think this is just fine. I think you do your best to put that in front. Now, I had started playing Gaslands with 6mm figures that were unbased. And the difficulty with that is that once you put ram plates and weapons, and then it becomes a question of, well, do I put the start of it at the tires or at the front bumper, or how do I do that? That's what I like about using the base now. And I just need to make sure that I clarify with the players, hey, the base has to go as close to the center as you can get it. Alternatively, if you want a little more flexibility, you can, go left, right, side to side. Because I tell you right now, I'm not getting another set of these. I'm not dropping the money for that when I could drop the money on other miniatures. And now the last thing I want to show you is this Micro Machines mystery vehicle. I was really hoping to open this live on camera, and I did, but my camera decided not to film for that time. What are you going to do? So that's what this Micro Machines mystery vehicle looks like. It's got a lovely little science fiction, futuristic flair. Again, the Micro Machines themselves are cartoonish. If we compare, for example, the wheels to a real-life vehicle to the Micro Machines, I think this works just fine. I think the little bit of cartoony, because remember, we're not dealing with, for one thing, it's going to be racing against a HISS tank. You think I'm really all that concerned about oversized tires? But the other thing is, we are dealing with a far-flung alternate history, 1980s, whatever, right? So what I'm thinking about doing, it makes sense to me. Why don't you have all your G.I. Joe military vehicles sponsored by Rutherford? Have your performance cars sponsored by, is it Michigan, I want to say? Our bikes are little biker boys. That would be your Team Slime. At least the ones that are a little bit grotty. The more high-tech ones would be more Michigan. And then, again, if we put like a teleporter or one of those zap guns or thumpers, it's going to go on a vehicle that looks like this. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. And again, just to kind of show you the scale comparison here, here's the Micro Machines to this weird... this had a little key, and it does the thing where you push it and it goes... because it's got a... what do you call it, like a flywheel in there or whatever. But once you get it on the table, man, she's going to look fantastic. We're going to be doing some serious stomping. Till next time, I'm praying for you.